Well, hello, Darren.
Greetings. What is going on?
Well, um, it's 63 degrees and sunny according to my app, but it feels freezing. And so I have my alpaca, Colorado sourced alpaca wool hat on, and that makes me very happy.
Fucking granola eaters are weird.
No, I don't think it makes me. First of all, I would eat granola; it's delicious. But I don't think that wearing a
That's very
Colorado sourced
white.
alpaca wool hat means that I am a
Very
by
white of
default.
you. Granola
It's a
eating
little white.
that.
It's very white behavior.
Very white behavior.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Colorado Show, the most serious news show in the Centennial State.
Cap.
All right, it's a little cap. It's not serious at all because this is a shit show of a state, and we treat the news with the level of respect it deserves, which is
Oh, I see what you did there. Because like people
a
like
little bit.
poop on the sidewalk and stuff. I get it.
Oh yeah, man. During 2020, the Summer of Love,
Yeah.
the downtown Cap Hill area was so gross. It's
For
just
real? Like
covered
it
in
was.
spray paint and human fecal matter and needles and a lot of really smelly people.
Have you ever like walked over like doo doo?
Have I personally ever walked over doo-doo? I mean, I didn't like it wasn't in my path and I stepped over it, but I walked adjacent to doo-doo during that summer of 2020 because they were living there. They were all living on there's a, kind of a mall in between Capitol Hill and Civic Center Park, and they were
Yeah.
living in that stretch of land.
So who was living there?
Super
Who?
gross.
Like who?
The super tolerant and empathetic occupiers. We had, like, our own little Chaz kinda thing going on. They didn't name it, but they
Were
were
they were
there.
they like were these like homeless people?
Mm-mm, it was
Or these were
BLM,
just
Antifa.
protesters? These were
I'm
just
sure they
like
mingle I mean, I'm sure there were homeless minglers in there too, but I think they were largely paid protesters.
okay. All right.
Is my opinion based on the information available. So today we have a couple fun Colorado stories. We're also gonna talk about John Brennan getting referred to the DOJ for investigation and prosecution for lying to Congress. We
Until I
have
see some
the
cuffs, I don't care.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that for sure. The indictments are delightful. But
It's
this isn't
fun.
even
They're
an
fun to
indictment
watch.
yet. This is just a referral. Maybe we'll get an indictment. Comey is back in the news. He is petitioning the court to say that Halligan's appointment is unlawful and therefore it has implications to his case. So we'll see what happens there. He
And what?
cited
And hold on. What is he? What is
Justices
he?
Thomas and Alito in his appeal, which is interesting,
Hold
or
on.
his
What is he?
motion.
Hold on. He said what's unlawful?
The new so hang on, let me pull it up. Last week, I think it was last week, the Eastern District of New York prosecutor
Yeah.
resigned because he didn't want to bring the sorry, I'm going to bumble until I pull it in. Resigned. Yeah. Oh, this was a month ago. So let me pull in who it was replaced by. I think it's Lindsay Halligan. Yeah. Oh. Oh, I need to share this tab instead. All right. So Lindsay Halligan fires more prosecutors in key U.S. attorneys. This is 5 days ago. She replaced, I can't remember his name either. Starts with an E. ED. This guy resigned because he didn't want to bring the Comey charges. And Eric Siebert is his name. Eric with a K, which is always a questionable personality when you've got Eric with a K. But he resigned in September and his replacement was appointed. It was Lindsay Halligan. And today, Comey, she's making waves, cleaning out the office out there. Comey was either today or last night. File. Judge in Comey case questions Lindsay Halligan-led prosecution's approach. Federal judge has rejected another early motion from the Justice Department in James Comey's criminal case, as was true of a ruling citing with the former FBI director last week. This latest decision also questions the approach taken by the Lindsay Halligan-led DOJ team. This was going around this morning, around the horn. He's questioning the appointments. He cites Thomas and Alito in his brief to the court, which is, of course, they're the two most conservative justices. So credit check, right? That he's relying on credibility that should play with the masses. But it's an interesting petition, and we'll see what happens. He's relying on precedent that President Trump used in the witch hunts against him. See how the courts determine it.
How did that how did that work? How did that aspect work out for Trump?
I think it was successful.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but okay.
I don't think we saw the end of a lot of those exchanges because the cases were tossed when he won.
Okay.
But yeah, it's interesting to see. So we're going to get into few of these different stories. Karen may join us from the car later. But before we do, let's hear from our sponsors. I'm going to do this one first.
Can I ask a question about the nicotine pouches?
Yes.
Does it melt in your mouth or do you have to spit it out later?
You can spit it out, you can swallow it, or you just savor it. I mean, you throw it in like you would a dip of tobacco.
Okay.
But you just let it sit there and then it suffuses your nervous system with life-giving nicotine. And it really does feel like the hand of God is massaging you.
But does it feel like the high of smoking a cigarette?
It's simultaneously, if you can imagine the Zen paradox, higher alertness accompanied by deep relaxation.
Wow.
So you really are, it's a Zen experience. You're like cat-like in your readiness, but you're fully
And how long does it last?
I always have one going. Sometimes if things are, if I need it, I'll put another one in. So I've got 18 milligrams of nicotine, but that gives me an unfair advantage.
You're banging 18 milligrams? Woo. That's impressive.
I don't like to because everybody else kind of recedes into the background and I become this kind of colossus when I do that, and I feel guilty about it. Hubris is inevitable at that point. So I usually keep it to one.
I mean, I could use a new addiction.
Oh, yes.
What's the gateway drug level? What would you prescribe?
This sits between caffeine and
sell
cocaine.
a 3 milligram, but there's a transition, like all great addictions. Like it's not instant. You do vomit at first, but then your body acclimates.
The wait is finally over. My Towels are back in stock, but not for long. Get a 6-piece My Towel set, regular $69.98, now only $39.98. Towels that actually work. What a concept. And that's not all. Check out our My Pillow bed sheets, only $29.88. Any color, any style, any size, even kings. Regular $119.98, now only $29.88. And how about our limited edition premium My Pillows, made with Giza cotton and a designer gusset, made exclusively for you to thank you for all your support. Queens $17.98, Kings only $19.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get My Towels for $39.98, My Pillow bed sheets only $29.88, and our limited edition My Pillow Queens $17.98 and Kings only $19.98. Quantities won't last long, so order now.
Best night's sleep in the whole wide world. mypillow.com. Use
Yeah.
promo code CDM.
Shout out to all the sleepers out there. with the sleeping ass.
So I think we were just talking about the the kind of RICO, Russiagate, watching these old conspirators get all rolled up. I think maybe we should keep going with that, and then we'll get into the Colorado stuff after. So this happened yesterday.
Brennan.
From Jim Jordan to the Honorable Pamela J. Bondi, U.S. Attorney General. We write to refer significant evidence that former director of the Central Intelligence Agency, John Brennan, knowingly made false statements during his transcribed interview before the Committee on the Judiciary on May 11th, 2023. While testifying, Brennan made numerous willfully and intentionally false statements of material fact, contradicted by the record established by the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence and the CIA. Under 18 U.S.C. 1001, a witness commits a crime if he, quote, knowingly and willfully makes any material false statement or representation with respect to any investigation, review, conduct pursuant to the authority of any committee of the Congress. Congress cannot perform its oversight function if witnesses who appear before its committee do not provide truthful testimony. Making false statements before Congress is a crime that undermines the integrity of the committee's constitutional duty to conduct oversight. And then I have a video here.
Who did this? Jim Jordan?
Jim Jordan, yeah. All right.
Did the CIA rely on it?
No.
Why not?
Talking, hold on.
Because we did.
They're talking about the Steele dossier. Now, we know from the releases last month out of Tulsi Gabbard and I think maybe the FBI as well. John Solomon over at Just the News has been covering this extensively, but we know that they relied almost exclusively on the Steele dossier for the predicate to open the Russiagate investigations. That's been proven now. And so this is the testimony they're asking about the Steele dossier. And this is the exact moment where John Brennan lies. And you can see that's Kash Patel behind him, right? At this time, I believe Kash Patel was in the HPSCI, the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. It is it's a whole section in his book, Government Gangsters, which Brian Lupo and I did on Badlands Book Club a couple of books ago. And so this is this whole drama is explained extensively in Government Gangsters. If you haven't read it, I would encourage you to do so. But here's the moment of the lie.
Did the CIA rely on it?
No.
Why not?
Because we didn't. It wasn't part of the corpus of intelligence information that we had. It was not in any way used as a basis for the intelligence community assessment that was done. It was not.
Did the CIA rely on it?
Sorry.
No.
Yeah, so that was untruthful, Darren.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how bad could this get for Brennan in your opinion?
Well, so this is the referral for investigation. So ostensibly, they're going to investigate. Right. And then, sorry, I'm teeing up because I'm going to play one more video here in a second, but I got to jump to the part of this where the guy isn't, the host of the show that I'm sharing isn't speaking. It's like I had to cut to like 3-4 minutes in. So this is the referral to the DOJ for investigation. It's based on credible evidence that he committed a crime, i.e. lying to Congress. They have the proof of it. And it's the investigate that it's now the decision of the DOJ whether or not they're going to open investigation. I imagine they will. And then where that investigation goes is another question. It's not necessarily contained to the, what's in the referral from Congress. That right. Investigation by the DOJ can go any number of ways. I hope that it goes more this way. And I apologize, the host that this show is on, and trying to think, maybe we can I'll share this on my X so folks can have the link to this. The full show is entertaining as well, but I just want to play the clip of this testimony. I hope it goes to the portfolio of crime that was happening during the Bush and Obama administrations, foreign crime, domestic crime. John Brennan is potentially at the center of a lot of that. Also important to realize that Comey, Brennan, Clapper, and Mueller, who's also here in this hearing, were all in service in the U.S. executive apparatus in 9/11. How far does this investigation go? Man, I hope it goes all the freaking way. I think it should go all the way. Listen to this.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and welcome, Mr. Brennan, to the committee. We thank all of you for being here. I joined Mr. Lobiondo.
Yeah.
It is really an honor to be able to meet with the
honored.
intelligence community all over the world, and we thank them for their work. My questions are regarding Iran and obtaining the nuclear weapon. I'd like to ask some questions about that, but before
first-
I do that, I'd like to ask a question of
That's what I was
Director Brennan.
apologizing for.
When the White House conducted their armed drone strikes in North Africa, particularly in eastern Libya, prior to the attack on our mission in Benghazi on 9/11 last year, did the White House notify the State Department of the armed drone strikes before they were made?
Armed drone strikes in Libya? I'm unknowing of such, and I would defer to the White House to address your question.
Were there any armed drone strikes?
All right. This is some of the, it's understated,
David
but it's some of
Pakman,
the best.
and this is a great video. Here's the thing. I had to use this because I can't find this actual video anywhere. And it was all over the place, not that long ago, you'd be able to find it. But for some reason, on the day that John Brennan is referred for prosecution, I can't find it. I searched YouTube, I searched X, I couldn't find it. Last night I included it in a take in the Badlands News Brief this morning, but that was the only version that I could find. And it's her 5 minutes of questioning, and she asked, they decide that they're going to go into closed session, but Brennan ignores or denies knowing anything about it. I wonder if he's telling the truth. Do you think he'd lie to Congress? Because what the reason we're told to believe these people is because there's real consequences if you are false in public hearings. Public hearings exist to educate the American people. You're essentially talking to the American people. This referral is lied to Congress, but lying to Congress is in a public hearing is essentially lying to the American people, because the whole reason we have public hearings in the Congress is to let the American people know what's going on. So, my where I hope this investigation goes is that we find out if John Brennan ever told Congress, and by extension the American people, the truth.
It's yeah, I guess it's too premature, but we'll see how this goes.
The investigation can go a number of different ways.
That's true. So I'll be patient this time around.
Yeah, Crepe Game says, hello, with the vote in Colorado coming up in November, what items do you like and dislike? I am in Douglas County. Statewide, we've got ballot measures LL and MM. I encourage people to vote no on all of them. They are end runs around Tabor to fund programs without cutting all the bullshit new spending that they've added. So in the past session, they added a bunch of spending related to, for example, gender affirming care for trans people, all trans people, kids, adults, not women, but this kind of care includes, breast augmentation, bottom surgery, face contouring, hormone treatments, all of those kinds of things. And that's new spending that's added on. And now in this election, they're holding hostage funding for school meals. That's yeah, I think I personally think that's criminal.
So hold on, you're telling me that they're saying if you don't go with this, with mutilation, then there's no school meals?
Well, we're not given that choice. We the people don't ever get that choice here in Colorado. What we're given is we passed this new thing, right? And they passed a bunch of new things. They love adding spending. They had a special session in, month ago, and it was to deal with the massive budget issue. We covered that on the show, right? There's been federal cuts. They claimed that they balanced the budget before they left before they gavelled out of the session this year, but then there was all these federal cuts, and now we don't know what to do. So we're going to have a special session. I was told by sources familiar with the matter that cuts were off the table. They were only able in the special session to look at revenue generating measures. A couple of the legislators told me, I don't know if they told me that in exactly those words, but that was the gist of which I took from it. And that's pretty much what happened. There were no cuts.
Right.
Not really. Not anything meaningful.
Nothing significant, yeah.
Yeah, not enough to deal with the deficit that they've got. And it's crazy to me because so much of that spending is social program fever dream bullshit. But they'll tell you, we can't fund school lunches for kids anymore. Even though when we passed school lunches for all the kids, we told you it was going to pay for itself. And, we did all this modeling and everything. Well, it's not paying for itself anymore. But also we added a whole bunch of new spending. And this is the area that now we have to cut. That is holding the voters hostage. And it's super gross.
How bad is the deficit?
Oh, gosh. I think it was $1 billion. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, because I heard
we covered this on the show. I just don't remember.
Call me crazy,
and I
but
try not to.
I heard California has is this true? $60-something billion deficit?
Hang on. Let's see if we can find some fast at 1.2 billion. Yeah, that's right.
That's
but also that's what they're telling us. So
Right.
Now, the headline is 1.2 billion.
No, it's funny. It's like, why can't you guys? Why is it? There should be a ledger on every county, city, state website.
Excellent use case for blockchain is government spending.
Yeah.
And government revenues. To be honest, everything government. Put that. It's like a technical blockchain. The cameras that the cops wear on their chests.
No, body cam.
Body cam. Thank you. It's a blockchain body cams for the government. Put them all. Put all of their spending, all of their revenue, all of their comms. Put their comms on the ledger as well. What do you think, Karen? You think that we should make government have all of its interactions, spending, revenues, communications, open records, sunlight, put it all on the blockchain so we can all see it?
Hold on, Karen, before you answer.
Well, she frozen, I think.
What's your name, scumbag?
That's an interesting
car confession. You're frozen. Okay, there. Now you're moving.
Something. I swear. I'm on the base, so.
No, we can hear you now.
What are you doing on the base?
Don't ask her what she's doing.
Take a shower because I don't have hot water in my house.
What the heck
and
happened to
Darren's
your
a dick
hot
because
water?
he already knew that.
No, I didn't.
Well, it's in our text.
Well, I didn't read
She
the
texted
text.
us that like 2 hours ago.
What the heck happened to your hot water?
Communism.
The stupid tank went kaput. Yeah. So the car, the hot water tank,
Yeah, you just going through a lot. And now she's gone. Yo, you can't make this shit up, man. This is the crazy.
All right, she's back.
There we go. Okay. I got 5 bars. Why is it doing that?
Communism.
I'm by the motor pool.
You going through a lot, Karen. Jesus.
They don't want me looking at the vehicles, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So we were just talking about the budget deficit here in Colorado, $1.2 billion as of the special session. But we don't really know because they lie to us about everything. And the $1.2 billion is what they're telling us. And I really doubt that they would tell us the extent of the actual problem. So my instinct is that it's more. Plus, also, it's dynamic because there are more cuts coming from the federal government. And we rely heavily on federal funding here in this state. And it's going to reach a crisis point if the people doing honorable service in Denver under the Demon Dome can't figure out how to cut their spending because their spending is ridiculous.
The thing, I was wrong. California is around like $6 or $7 billion deficit. Like,
yeah, which is still a lot. And Colorado, California is significantly more populous than us too.
I think we're like 30. I think we're like 30 million. We only have like 30
let's
million.
Ask.
Let's see.
I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. Who has a bigger budget deficit when you control for population? Colorado or California? Let's see. See what Tom says.
We got a budget surplus. See, man. I need
so I got a different number.
We need a Ron DeSantis your state.
Okay, so here's what it says. California's multi-year structural budget problem is estimated to be about $27 billion for 23 to 24 and up to $55 billion for 24 to 25. Colorado is...
Hold on. If that's the case, then this California number I got must be way off.
Yeah. Hang on. There we go. All right.
Okay, 68 billion. Okay, I had it right the first time.
Colorado is facing a shortfall structural deficit of about 1.2 billion. California's estimated population is 39.66 million. Colorado's is 6.01 million. If we take $27 billion deficit divided by 39.66 million people, that equals $680 per person. If we take 55 billion divided by the same, we got $1,390 per person. 1.2 billion into 6.01 million is 200 per person. So yeah, California's still worse. But Colorado is appears to be attempting to catch California and become the worst. Aiming race to the bottom.
You think your state's bad? Watch this.
Yeah, watch. I bet you know what, guys? If we just try a little harder, we can probably be. We're up against New Mexico in crime. We're just bumping. Colorado's number 2 in crime, just bumping up against New Mexico, hoping to overtake them and be the number 1 least safe state in the nation.
Yeah, Albuquerque. I watched the special on
and then for
Albuquerque.
economics, running up on California.
I watched a special this YouTuber Tyler Oliveira. He went to Albuquerque. Man, that place is fucking crazy, insane. But I don't think it's. I don't know. It might be.
Do you think Karen lost her signal, or do you think she's mad at us?
I don't fucking know.
Could be a little of both.
A dash of both.
Wouldn't be the first time. All right, so let's get into this story. This is so just to close out the prior segment, there is a lot that appears to be moving in the federal government as it pertains to the Russiagate conspirators. Russiagate, FISAgate, Spygate, all the gates. It's Treasongate, in my opinion, because all of these things were done to undermine the duly elected president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, following the 2016 election, because she was never supposed to lose. Then she did. And so they had a plot to undermine him and keep him, I think, personally, in my opinion, based on the information available, that they were attempting to keep him from exposing and prosecuting their portfolio of crime that goes back decades. But, maybe they just didn't like him. And so they did all this stuff because he was mean and crass and Trump's literally the worst. I mean, I think it's probably the personal exposure thing that they had going on, but who knows?
Right.
That we've speculated, Epoch Times, Dan Bongino, a lot of places did great reporting about this back as it was happening in the first Trump administration and then into, through the Biden administration. And we haven't seen that. So there's been a lot done to expose this, to expose that the government was weaponized against the duly elected president of the United States. There hasn't been a lot up until this point that would suggest that anything was going to happen to anybody that did it. Now that's changing because you have, Comey, Brennan, Bolton. You also have Clapper under investigation. When Comey's investigation was announced, I think Clapper was announced at the same time. I would imagine we'd see investigation into Mueller. The problem there is I think he has Parkinson's, and they, might determine that's kind of what they did to Joe Biden too, right? Like he's super sick now, so we can't prosecute him for all the treason. It's maybe true. She might be on it. Stacey might be on it something. Yeah, it's interesting to see what's happening. I think this is exactly what we wanted. Certainly what I voted for when I voted for President Trump. I voted for accountability. I voted for a justice phase. I will be your retribution, I was told, and I'm going to hold his feet to it.
I find it it's just such a weird situation, man. I've never seen anybody and mind you, I wasn't too heavy into politics as a child, so it's probably, but I've never seen too many presidents get this shit the way he gets it. It's like, how many it's like all arrows are pointed at this guy, and it's like, for what?
So I mean, I think honestly, Darren, the presidency, the office of the presidency is not meant to be a puppet face that is, the guy in front of the oligarchy that's actually running things, as we saw in the Joe Biden administration. I think that was a great example, because you had this guy that really appeared to be demented, right? Like he had dementia. His couldn't articulate words. He had these giant note cards that, all of the questions to ask, journalists weren't allowed to ask off the cuff questions. It all had to be scripted and submitted in advance.
Before you go on real quick, it's funny you say that. Corinne Jean-Pierre said that, this is like 2 days ago. She said that Joe Biden did more press than Trump.
Yeah.
This lady is on crack.
Yeah.
Like, what is it?
And we didn't hear this is, so she's gaslighting and rewriting history, because we didn't hear that often from Joe Biden. We heard from Jake Sullivan or John Kirby or others in the administration, right? I'm trying to think of that other guy's name, but these people, and a lot of the Biden administration was also part of the Hillary Clinton State Department when she was the Secretary of State. These people have been working together in the shadows in the government for a very long time, spanning multiple presidents. And what we saw with the Biden administration is that the president of the United States didn't really matter. That's why the auto pen scandal is so massive, because you had the authority to sign the president's name delegated out to different people across the administration. There's been allegations that some of that was being sold. Right. I got control of the auto pen this week.
Like the pardons.
Yeah, you give my foundation a donation and I'll get you your pardon, or I'll get you your policy. Also, I'll get you your Supreme Court justice appointment. What all happened with the auto pen? We're still learning about that. Again, that's an investigation. And so that there will likely be indictments that come off of that as well. There must be a justice phase. And I have a really hard time believing that they would spend so much time exposing all this stuff, revealing the level of the corruption, revealing that in the Biden administration, the president didn't matter because the oligarchy had everything. And even Pete Buttigieg said during the re-election campaign, the 2024 campaign before Biden dropped out, Pete Buttigieg was like, "You're electing a team." And that was, I think, a slip of the tongue. Or the thumbs. I think he posted it on Twitter, but because that is what they were doing. That's not the design. The president of the United States is meant to be the commander in chief. The buck stops here with this guy. If the guy doesn't matter, then we're not a representative republic, and we're not living in constitutional government. I think what we saw with the Biden administration is that we're not, and I don't think that started with Biden. I think the reason, this is a long roundabout way to answer your question, but you said, why are all the arrows pointed at this guy, meaning Trump? Why is it that he gets this kind of hate? I don't remember any president in my lifetime ever receiving this kind of, just vitriol from every single angle, because he wasn't supposed to win. She was never supposed to lose. An independent actor that was not controlled by the regime was never supposed to have the power of the presidency. That's why they reacted the way that they did.
The machine was supposed to keep running.
Yeah. And now they're getting indicted and getting referred for prosecution. And you have the initial indictment of Comey that is, a couple seemingly somewhat minor instances, but a superseding indictment can replace it. And the investigation will go where the investigation goes. And I hope it goes all the way, because there must be a justice phase after they revealed to us all of this corruption. We cannot heal. We cannot move on. We can never even think about trusting the government, any government, again, unless the government people that did all the corruption sold out the republic and bankrupted so many Americans, unless those people are held accountable.
I think here's one for the machine. There you go.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Before we move on to the Colorado show, I mentioned earlier, to the Colorado news. I mentioned earlier that I am wearing
what the hell have you been doing for the past 40 minutes?
a Colorado American Small Business Colorado alpaca wool hat. And I just want to tell you guys about Willow Wind Farm, which the site is willowwindgoods.com, willowwindgoods.com. And I spent the weekend at this farm, Annie's farm, and she does yarns and fibers, fabrics, all manner of wool for alpacas and for merino sheep. And she's doing alpaca wool at wholesale, and she's one of the only people in the country doing that, which is commercial wholesale, which is a massive operation. Fantastic. She's got a little shop on the farm. What all does she make? So her one area of the farm production is alpaca blend yarn, the clothing, this hat. She has these absolutely gorgeous vests.
You got hoodies?
She might have hoodies. Yeah, find out. Soap wrapped in the fibers. So I hung out with 150 alpacas, 4 llamas, 27 sheep, a bunch of birds, some goats, cats, dog, tiny little dog. And it was just, this is Colorado. Annie's farm is amazing. The animals are amazing. I learned a ton about alpacas and their reproductive process, because we were studying a few of her males while I was there. So I got to help alpacas have baby alpacas, which was delightful, and a great science education. It's actually like the sound that the male alpaca makes when he's wanting to get laid is a sound that makes the female alpaca's egg drop. It's like the science is so freaking cool. This is an agro-tourism business, so you can actually go out. It's in Westcliff. You can go out and stay and hang out and meet the animals and learn about the production. She does body products. We have Soft Disclosure brand of lotions and tallow products and lip balms and all kinds of things. And Annie produces that for us, which is why I was out there over at softdisclosure.com. And so you can get the body products over there. But Annie's great and Colorado based, real beautiful America first kind of business story. The American wool industry is a crazy story about the impacts of globalism. And I will be exploring that with Annie on my show next Monday night, Culture of Change. So tune into that. She'll be joining and we'll be talking about the wool industry. But she's a great America first story. We like to support American small businesses here and everywhere else. So check her out, willowwindgoods.com. You can get this hat. I wish I could reach the other hat that I got, but it's a little bit too far, but it's super cool too. Really good stuff. Beautiful stuff.
That's what's up. I'm happy for you. Now see if you can give me a hoodie, dog.
I'll check it. I'll see what I can do. All right. So We're going to move on now. We're going to talk about a little Colorado news. And Neifred Zerpa-Acosta, which is, I don't know if I'm saying
Aurora
that right.
In the building.
Trend Day Aurora.
One of the men involved in an armed break-in at an apartment complex in Aurora has accepted a plea deal. The crime at the Edge at Lowry complex last summer was caught on video, gaining national attention. The video showed a group of armed men forcing their way into an apartment unit. Today, we've learned one of the men involved, Neifred Zerpa-Acosta, pleaded guilty to burglary, assault, and using a weapon in a violent crime. He also pleaded guilty for his part in a violent kidnapping this past December. Aurora police say a man and a woman had been bound, threatened, and assaulted before being let go and calling for help. Zerpa-Acosta has been sentenced to 12 years in prison.
Why are we why can we imprison him in El Salvador? Like, why are we?
Because he's got to pay here, and then he's gonna, and then, you know.
I wonder. I think that might be when they say, bound to a man and woman were bound and assaulted. I think that might be the case where the woman's fingernails were pulled out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Darren, we covered the Aurora apartment takeover when it was going on, when that was major news. President Trump came out here to Aurora at the Gaylord, and we had a Trump rally. I was there for that. Karen was there too. And we covered it. Do you remember what the Colorado media was saying about the gang takeover of the Aurora buildings?
First, they said it was non-existent.
Wasn't happening.
Then they double back and said, "Well, it's not happening that much.
It's just happening a little. It's overblown."
Like, what's her name? Martha. Martha was
Trump's far right talking points. Trump's disinformation about trying to throw shade on the beautiful city of Aurora.
Nah, but what's the lady's name that told JD Vance it was only a few apartment buildings?
Oh yeah, that was. Oh, let's find
and
that.
JD
That
was like,
awesome.
He was like, "Bitch, what?"
That was a good one. Yeah, it's just a few.
Like, do you hear yourself? And the look on her face afterwards was like, "Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said that shit." Yeah, you dummy. Yeah, try to justify it. Oh, it's not that much crime. It's not that much murder. It's just minimal murder.
I think I got it. Oh, I don't know if this.
It's a murder light.
I do have Facebook. It won't let me. Oh, wait. I think it might.
I can find it.
I got it, but I got it on Facebook, and I don't have Facebook. So, but I think we're good. Yeah. Okay. Hang on. So this is, as I said, a Facebook video, but it's got the exchange in it. It's only 1 minute and 43 seconds. So it sounds like it's got some voiceover on it, but I think we'll be all right. And play.
Like she did. Listen to this exchange, cut 4.
And what we're hearing, of course, Martha, is that people are terrified by what has happened with some of these Venezuelan gangs.
Senator Vance, I'm going to stop you because I know exactly what happened.
Martha.
I'm going to stop you. The incidents were limited to a handful of apartment complexes.
Do you hear yourself? Only a handful of apartment complexes in America were taken over by Venezuelan gangs, and Donald Trump is the problem and not Kamala Harris's open border.
Got it.
Like, how do you fix?
Do you even hear yourself?
Yeah, like, how do you fix
so normalized though?
So ridiculous, man. And then, but here's the thing. If she had gotten away with that, people would have been like, "Oh, it ain't that bad." People that don't live there, you know what I mean, or know anybody that lives there, they would have just chalked it up. But like, you got it's kind of like watching like all these YouTubers and these independent journalists go out to like No Kings rallies, right? And then they ask these people questions like, "Why are you here?" Da, 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 da. Like, "Oh, we're losing our rights." What rights have you exactly lost?
Mm-hmm.
And they got no answer. But then they start shaking, like, I don't know why I'm here. like they start losing their minds because the absurdity of their positions is what really frustrates them. It's not the fact that they don't really believe this nonsense, right?
Yeah.
You can't believe it, because the fact that you're out here protesting.
It's not important for them to believe it, though, Darren. The Colorado authorities that are gaslighting everybody and telling them that things aren't happening, of course they don't believe it. They're speaking talking points to spin narrative to convince the people of Colorado that it's happening. And that's why it was far right talking points. Danny Jurinsky is a Aurora County City Councilwoman. She was the one who blew the whistle on this. She spoke to the residents of the apartment building who were run out by the Venezuelan gang. And when she raised this to the authorities in her town and in our state,
they tried to shame her.
Told it was a feature of her imagination. It was not happening. It was far right talking points. They're making something that's happening, blah, blah, blah. Well, now this guy has been sentenced to 12 years for kidnapping and for taking over those apartment buildings that they said wasn't happening. Where's the accountability for that?
Look at the gradual timeline, right? So we went from not happening to kind of happening to man catching 12 years. But
the other detail of that, when it was not happening and it was a feature of her imagination, and don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain is what we're being told by Colorado. That was in the run up to the election. So because they wanted Trump to lose the election, they lied to the people of Colorado about the safety of their communities, which by extension puts those people in danger. If you're being told by the authorities, this isn't happening, you might go out in Aurora and get jacked by a freaking migrant gang. And that would be the government's fault because they lied to you about it and they made you believe that you were safe when you were not. And that kind of stuff happens to us all the time.
Nut shit, bro. Nut shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
So I'm glad that this guy is off the streets. I think that he should do his time in the El Salvadoran prison.
I think he should do time in both. So let's make some noise for that. All right. Yeah, lock his ass up forever, ever.
All right. Let's see what else we got. I had one more story.
Up, it won't let me out.
Oh yeah. I'm very excited about this. I hope
visitation no longer comes by.
I hope you are as excited that I am for the highly anticipated return, Darren, of Baby Prop Chick.
Oh Lord.
Sam and I started off the day delivering donuts and coffee to thank our federal employees who continue to serve our community, state, and country, providing critical services that so many of us depend on, while many are facing going without a paycheck for the first time starting tomorrow. Numerous people who were fired earlier this year and just recently brought on. Again, just the constant chaos and dysfunction of the Republicans in charge in Washington. We want you to know that we are working to support you around the clock. Please reach out to our office if you need any support. We're having a resource fair next Tuesday. You can go to our website for all of the details and sign up. But we are here to support you in any way we can. And I want to thank you for your service. Thank you for not giving up on the future of this country. We're going to get through this time. We are going to work on a bipartisan path forward to reopen the government and address these skyrocketing healthcare costs that are right around the corner.
Explain the origin of this lady, please.
So this is Brittany Pedersen. She is a representative here in the great state of Colorado. Watch, first of all, fix your baby sling so that his face isn't smushed like that. Second of all, she looks very uncomfortable. She's jostling and jittering and moving around almost like she, isn't used to wearing that thing. She pulls out baby Sam when she wants empathy. She wants sympathy. When she wants people to look at her and be like, oh, she's a good person. I should follow her. I should listen to what she has to say. The last time we saw Brittany bringing out Sam and, doing the emotional plea for attention was when they were trying to go for proxy voting. And they wanted everybody to be concerned for the women in the Congress who, have it was like proxy voting under cover of breastfeeding in the house or something. And that was super annoying to me. I thought it was theatrical and very poor taste, but it was intentional. Here she is bringing out Sam again to talk about federal workers. And it occurs to me, Darren, that the only time, and I think Brittany Pedersen is a good example of this, but so is Anna Polina Luna. So it's not a partisan thing that I'm saying. It is a governing class versus the rest of us thing. The only time that we see them get this, upset and overwhelmingly, throwing the emotional peels out, doing all the clips, getting real serious, like we're so fighting for you guys, is when it's about themselves. Again, this is about federal workers losing their jobs, the governing class losing their jobs, the cost center of the nation, the cost center of our GDP is now they're out here talking with the emotional appeals again. Baby Sam is out again, making an appearance because we have to be concerned about government workers. And I'm not hating on government workers. We have a massive crisis in our nation because the government has grown so far outside its constitutional box. We can't afford you. So I'm sorry about that. But if there's something in the federal government that you're doing that's outside the lines of the Constitution, we shouldn't be paying for that. We certainly shouldn't have to pay for that according to the guardrails of the Constitution. But it is always when it's about themselves. One more thing. The last thing I'll say about this is on the heels of finding out that the prior administration was spying on a bunch of senators. You remember that outrage? You heard Senator Kennedy and Ted Cruz, and everybody's super mad. Lindsey Graham's going to have an aneurysm, and everybody's all super pissed. We never get that pissed off when the prior administration did something to us. They only get that pissed off when it's about themselves. That is the answer. Sorry, go ahead.
You know what, Ash? I've come to the conclusion that it's the lizards in Washington are just kind of just useless. They're just kind of there.
Yeah.
Like, here's the funny thing. I don't know if you know who Charleston White is, right? Charleston White is an internet antagonist, but he used to work in the government in Texas. So he went from being like a guy that advocated for the urban youth in Fort Worth, Texas, to not being listened to saying, okay, I'm gonna make up this character kind of like Dolomite, right? I'm gonna make up this character, the street character. I'm gonna put on all this jewelry, talk all this shit to these rappers, and then people will start listening to me. It worked, right? Because what he does is he holds a mirror up to everybody and lets them know, like, this is why your community is fucked up, right? And this is why we are where we are. So a lot of people like him, a lot of people don't. Karen knows Karen knows who he is. Now, what I find fascinating is he was on a podcast and
Is the reason I don't know who he is because I'm white?
Possibly. That could play a factor. Could possibly play a factor. But the thing about it is, he was on a podcast, and because he used to work in government in Fort Worth, Texas, it's funny how he broke down the grift, the nonprofit grift, the grant grift, all that, right? When it comes to black neighborhoods, brown neighborhoods, this poor and disenfranchised communities, low police, high heavy crime, low policing communities. Like, he broke down the whole group, how if problems all get fixed, there's no more money to be grifted off of, number one, and number two, you won't need those idiots in Washington. You see what I'm saying? So if people collectively decided, okay, we're gonna clean up our communities, no more of this bullshit, and did it themselves, like, you'd be able to hold those morons in Washington to a higher standard, because there's nothing. Because at that point, they have to actually do something.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can hold them to the constitutional standards. We just need people to do it with balls.
Well, there was one guy
they all like their special protections. They like their qualified immunity. They like their separate benefits packages. They like that they get to vote off our backs, they get to vote themselves whatever they want. They've gotten real comfortable with that. And I don't know that you can, unwind that without some drastic stuff, especially for the white ones.
It's all about it's all about the money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like there's a gentleman by the name
And power. It's not just money. It's the power.
money
They
is
love
the
the
money is
power.
what provides that for them, right? So you gotta
No.
like the fact. No, I'm telling you, that green piece of paper is why everybody does what they do. The reason you get up and
The money is what protects them, but the power is something on its own.
No, it's bigger than that. The money is the main. If the money is the power, right? So for instance,
No, the money is the security.
Nah, man, nah, it ain't. It's the power, and the reason I say that is because it gets you up every day to go do what you do because they make you feel like you need that. That is the power.
Yeah, and I see what you're saying, but for them, it's why do you end up with people who have plenty of money, billionaire folks that have plenty of money still chasing. They're still Michael Bloomberg.
Yeah, but that's a small fraction.
Right?
That's
That guy's
a very
had
small
business
fraction.
success. He's had, certainly financial success. He's got, media notoriety and has a whole bunch of different businesses, but he's still chasing the presidency. He still wants it. It's not because of money. He wants it because of power. Power is a powerful draw.
What you're missing is that he's statistically insignificant because he's a small fraction. He's a very small number of individuals like that. You see what I'm saying? The rest of these people come to Congress with nothing and leave with millions.
Within the first term. Within their first term, they've really worked out their
and they're talentless.
situations.
They're like most of these people are talentless theater kids.
They're good actors.
Look at Hakeem Jeffries. This is the
Good
most
actor.
swag. This is the swag. I call him swag.
Do your Hakeem. You have to say this in your Hakeem voice.
Extreme MAGA Republicans are spewing rhetoric that is hateful and insightful.
That's brilliant.
And I would tell the president, say it to my face. Yeah.
Cue the mariachi music. That was brilliant. For a second I thought that I was cutting out, like you were freezing, and then I realized that was the affect that you were doing. All right, well, that's the show that we have today. We are out of time.
Yeah.
And Darren, what do you have going on? You don't really want people to follow you, right?
I mean, they can follow me. I'm at GovRibs.
GovRibs.
Yeah, I'm over here trying to build an empire. You know what I'm saying? On the low. On the low.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I ain't telling anybody.
Do you have boots with the fur though?
No, I don't wear boots
the
with
whole
fur.
club was looking at her.
Nah, no boots with fur. That would be a real zesty thing to do.
And Maggie sweatpants and okay. All right, we're gonna get out of here. I will be back. When will I be back on the air? I'll be back on the air Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, 5:30 p.m. Mountain time for Why We Vote. We'll be talking about the Mesa County stuff too. So for the Colorado audience here, head over to rumble.com/badlands on Friday, 5:30 p.m. and watch Why We Vote, because we'll be talking about Colorado stories. And Substack, ashenamerica.substack.com. I put out a daily history update, kind of looks at the most transformational American history events on the day. It's been a good one, and I'm enjoying doing it. But with that, we're gonna get out of here. Everybody have a fantastic week. I just gotta find the outro. Yeah, have a fantastic week. We'll be back here next week for your midweek lunch break on the Colorado Show on Wednesdays at noon. And peace.